Hi, this is Jamie with Antelope Beads, and we're going to see how you can use 6 strands of 3mm round leather in your Regaliz clasps and components. At antelopebeads.com, on the Ideas and Inspirations page, there's a bracelet design called Hay Bales, and it looks very similar to the one here. It's using the same clasp and the same focal component, it's just using different colors of the 3mm round leather. I have this one in greens here today to show you, and like I said, it's just an example of using 6 strands of 3mm round leather in your Regaliz components. Now this is pretty simple to do. There's just one little trick that we need to learn to work with the leather in this regard. When I open up this bracelet, you can see that 3 of the strands are shorter than the other 3 strands. And this is necessary so that the leathers wrap around your wrist correctly and fit into the clasp properly. Here's an example of where I've just taken 6 strands of red leather and just banded them together, and I'm going to hold them together as if it were a clasp. These are all cut at the same length, at 7 inches, and you can see here that they're all going to wobble out at wonky different heights and things like that, and that's because they're all trying to go around the wrist. So you can see why it's necessary to fit it with the 3 strands of leather being just slightly shorter than the other 3. And it's really a simple equation. I've learned that you want to cut 3 of the strands 3/8 inch shorter than the other 3. So we'll put together another example here. I have this great Regaliz focal component, a Regaliz clasp, 3 strands of leather cut at 7 inches, and 3 strands of leather cut at 6 5/8 inches. So no matter what size bracelet you're making, just make sure that 3 of your leathers are 3/8 inches shorter than the other 3. Okay, so the 3 shorter pieces are going to sit on the inside of the wrist. I'm going to take those first and I'm going to place them into the component. With this one especially, I've learned that it's easier to place the shorter inside pieces first, and then you can kind of hold them down in the bottom of that component as you place the other 3 pieces. So now I'll feed these in excuse me, one at a time. First doing the outside pieces, and then I'm going to feed that middle piece in. And in case it gets stuck in this top here, like this one's doing, you might want to have a pair of pliers handy just to push that down, and be able to fit it the rest of the way through. There we go. So now you can see, once I kind of line up all the ends here, that when you curve these leathers around, they're going to end up roughly the same length and fit properly into your clasp. And in order to help put it into the clasp, I have a couple of 10mm O-rings here, and I'm going to use my pliers. And I'm just going to spread it out, the O-ring. I'll put it closer to the end of my pliers there. But I'm going to just spread it out and just try to fit all those strands of leather through there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And this is just going to act as something to keep them all in the right place so that I can make sure they get in the clasp in the order that I want them to be. And it'll line up very nicely for the finished design. Okay. So I have the O-rings on, and now is when I'm going to kind of place it. So I'm going to just move these leathers around, place that focal piece in the center, and then arrange the leathers so that they're all sitting in the order I want them. In this case, I'm going to pull that one out and then pop it back in again. And basically, you're looking for 2 layers here, 3 on top and 3 on the bottom. And then try to just match up the ends as well as you can. And again, this O-ring helps you to do that. And once I have my first end lined up here, I can go ahead and take my super glue And as always, I just need a couple of drops down in the bottom of the clasp. And I'm going to turn it all around and make sure that the glue is evenly coating in there. And you even want to kind of turn it on its side so that the glue kind of moves up the side and really just coats the whole inside of the clasp there. Now I can just take and slide in all my pieces. You can see how easy that is with the O-ring there to put all 6 pieces in. So now I'm just going to hold it for about 8 to 10 seconds and let it kind of get that initial secure bond. And then I can repeat with the other side. Now that the one side's secure, I can adjust the other leathers more if need be. And like I said, you can see that they all kind of line up. So now I'll put my other drops of glue in. There's my kitty in the background down to talk to us. She might just jump up on the table here too. Okay, so I've got my glue. I'm going to stick my other 6 strands in, adjusting them as necessary. Here's probably the trickiest part, just to make sure they all get in and I'll stay in with this curve. But again, that O-ring's helping me there. I can adjust that now again and make sure the focal's in the center. And I'm actually going to leave, see there, one of our little pieces slipped out. So there's the O-ring helping us. And I'm just going to, there we go, pop that back in as well. So now all my pieces are there. I'm going to keep the O-rings on as it's drying to just kind of help them bond together and secure. But here's your other piece. And once it's secure, again, you can kind of go and move the leathers around and kind of change their order on the sides of the piece like that too, if you'd like. So here's a couple of designs using the 3mm round leather with Regaliz Components. You'll be able to find them and more designs at antelopebeads.com in our ideas and inspiration section. Thank you very much.